Hello again, Business English 1 students. Today we will be addressing the material that was posted near the beginning of last week for our particular companies, and this time it is a product description. So our job was first to go through the material that was posted, that was essentially this page and this page, and then to write a product description of our own using the guidelines established on this page. So we did a sales flyer last week, and that is a much shorter type of communication with potential customers, also an advertisement of sorts, but that relies heavily on visual information as well as some minimal written information. A product description is kind of the opposite. It's closer to a sales letter, but it is a document generated that details what a company and a particular product have to offer. And so we're just going to go through the pages that I posted and distinguish what are features, what are benefits, and in what particular formation should these appear in a product description, and then get a little bit of practice with that. So that was your task this week. And that's where we'll begin. So the first part of this page mentions discussion, and it says identify the 4 features of this car and the 4 corresponding benefits to consumers. Then discuss the questions below. So there are 4 pairs, let's say, and there is a feature and then a benefit that matches. And these are pretty short. So we have the first one, ABS, which is anti-lock brake system or automatic braking system. And that is the feature. The feature is the technical component. And then the benefit is what you get. So generally features are what the technical teams and the mechanical teams, manufacturing agents come up with. And then the benefits are the wording supplied by more commercialistic advertising agencies. So what does ABS give you essentially? Well, if you're the consumer, it gives you safe braking and cornering. So that's one pair. Then we have the 3.0 liter V6 engine. So I'm not an expert on cars. I know that that is a 6-cylinder 3.0-liter engine. So what does that give me? How can we put that into more commercial language? It gives you power on demand, right? On demand meaning when you want it, you get it. So then we have another feature, alloy wheels. So alloy is often a term used for a combination of metals. It's been a term also applied to fancy looking hubcaps. So what do those alloy wheels give you? Not really performance, but good looks. So alloy wheels give you head-turning good looks. They're shiny and they're bright, they're chromy, and they're going to make you look at they're going to make others look at your car. So that leaves the final one, and that is automatic climate control. That's the feature. What does it give you? Comfort, in particular, air-conditioned comfort. So there are some interesting other items to explore here. Some of us are not looking for a car or don't drive cars, and so some of these elements may not be important at all. I think question 2 could be a source of interesting discussion. They mentioned when you buy a computer or a mobile phone or a software, are you more interested in its features or benefits? What about other products? And I think it's always going to be a combination. I think of the 3 elements here, the one thing that we all have, regardless of who we are, is a mobile phone. And so when you think about, first things that come to mind when you want a mobile phone, then if you think of a few things, and this is how we would discuss it in class, you could decide, is that a feature or a benefit? So for me, the most important thing is a phone that works, and that is simple. Those are benefits, right? So some features are going to give me those benefits. So that's going to be a particular operating system, how I interact with the phone, like a touch screen formation, what apps are automatically included on the phone. So the benefit that I want can sometimes be attached to many features. And it's also true that one feature can give you many benefits. So that's the challenge of writing a product description, is how to represent the features and the benefits in the most positive way possible for your product and your company. So another thing that I would look for in a mobile phone is a good camera. And that's a feature. A feature can also be built on other features. So a good camera, which is a feature, could be built on this many megapixels, or this many megapixels for photos and this many megapixels for video. But essentially it's a good camera. And then the benefits of that are it'll allow you to take high quality images and videos that you can share with your friends, or your wider circles, or your families, and use for other purposes if you like. So there are a lot of other products. I think for every single product, we could probably analyze endlessly, which we will not do. What are the features and benefits? But it's more productive to think about a product that you're familiar with, and that's essentially your assignment, to write a product description for a single product issued by your company. So how do we go about doing that? Well, we begin with the reading. And the scan reading on the first page says, read the product description below and number the 5 sections in the box in the order they appear in the article. And so just to answer that, the first one is background. And it's background not just on the product, but also the company. Then an overview of benefits. Then compatibility. Then details of features and benefits. And finally, 5, invitation. This makes sense, and when you write your product description, all of these are mandatory with the exception of compatibility. This depends on what kind of product you are presenting. If it's a new version of a product that's been issued before, then compatibility would be in there, but it's not necessarily part of every product description. It's useful for certain cars. You have the 2019 version and the 2020 version, and they're probably pretty similar, so you might compare them and talk about similar features. It's definitely true for software, which is what's presented here. But this kind of order makes sense. If you are trying to sell somebody a product, then in your description, you're first going to remind them of how much they like the previous products and how much they like the company. So that's the background. And in your assignment, it should be a paragraph. And then there is an overview of benefits. Well, you want to grab the attention of the reader. So before you get into the nitty-gritty or the details, you want to give them some commercial language. Like, look what you get. This is what you get. This is what you get. Attractive language to grab a potential customer's attention. Then once you have it, you give them a detailed description of the features and the benefits. So this feature gives you this benefit. This feature gives you this benefit. So you introduce your company, or you remind the potential customer of your company and the product. Then you hit them with some nice things, which are the benefits. Then you give them more information about exactly what that is, if they're interested. And then finally, you invite them to try it. So whether that's coming to a store, or here in this particular instance going online, you give them an opportunity to interact with your product and hopefully purchase it. So that was the first activity. The second activity was reformulating, and it says in the description for this activity, R&D departments, which are research and development departments, often focus on describing features. We mentioned this before, that technical departments would focus on features, while marketing departments tend to describe benefits to consumers. So it says, read the 8 features described by R&D and underline their corresponding benefits in the text in part 2. And number 1 is done for us. We have the feature International Open Source Code Application available to download. That seems like a technical mouthful. What does that mean? This world-class software is free. So then you have some others. Let's get the answers to these. Number 2 says fully integrated suite of Office applications. If we go to paragraph B, OpenOffice gives you everything you'd expect in Office software. You can create dynamic documents, analyze data, design eye-catching presentations, produce dramatic illustrations, and open up your databases. So quite a few benefits. attached to a fairly complicated feature. Number 3 says supports PDF and SWF publishing without plugins. Plugins are additional add-ons. So number 3, what is that? That's the feature. Number 3, the benefit is this. You can publish your work in portable document format, PDF, and release your graphics in Flash or SWF format without needing any additional software. That's the marketing described benefit. So number 4, intuitive user interface. Well, intuitive is kind of highlighted as a vocabulary term, so that means kind of automatic or inherently easy. So how do we put that into marketing language? Here you go. If you're used to using other Office suites, such as Microsoft Office, you'll be completely at home with OpenOffice.org 1.1. And that completely at home phrase is really that marketing kind of language. You'll just feel comfortable. Number 5, fully compatible with other document formats. Let's look for that. And we find it here. You can, of course, continue to use your old Microsoft Office files without any problems, and if you need to exchange files with people still using Microsoft Office, that's no problem either. Basically, elimination of problems and continuity with previous software. Number 6, image integration capability. That sounds sophisticated and technical. What does that mean? You have a powerful tool for creating professional documents. You can easily integrate images and charts and documents, create everything from business letters to complete books and web content. Use advanced spreadsheet functions and decision-making tools to perform sophisticated data analysis. So that brings us to 7. You have built-in 2D and 3D charting tools. This means you can use built-in charting tools to generate 2D and 3D charts. And finally, number 8, you can there are diagram and special effects functions. That's the feature. What does that give you? In marketing language, you have Impress, the fastest way to create effective multimedia presentations. Your presentations will truly stand out with special effects, animation, high-impact drawing tools. Produce everything from simple diagrams to dynamic 3D illustrations and special effects. And then we have that invitation at the end. Find out more, try it today. So the final task here, besides, of course, writing your own, is to practice a little bit. So number 4 was to reformulate the product features of the Creo Audio Manager in terms of benefits. So this could be a little bit of fun. I mean, there's a lot of freedom here in taking a technical element and then turning it into a benefit. So there's not really a right answer for any of these questions, and hopefully you were creative in coming up with your own. I'll offer you a few, but I'm not going to go through every one. The first one is actually done for us. It says fully integrated multi-format audio and video player, and then the marketing people would say, Creo gives you everything you'd expect from an audio player. Watch and play video and music in all popular formats. So I'll give you a couple examples that I wrote, and this is very likely how we do it in class. Everyone would take a few, and then we'd get versions from everybody. It says number 2 is downloadable shareware. That's a very straightforward feature. I wrote as a benefit, free updates will keep your files secure and up to date at no extra cost. There you go. Doesn't have to be too fancy. Then we have the karaoke function. This is, I think, one of the easier ones and one of the more interesting ones to turn into a benefit. So you could say, make any occasion into a party with our karaoke function. Get your friends dancing and singing along to the latest tunes or something like that. Then finally, maybe built-in CD burning tool. Less relevant these days, but back up digital copies of all of your favorite songs. And finally, 7, intuitive user interface and foolproof operation. Might say something like, even grandma could jam out with ease with the simplicity of these formats. So there are other ways of doing it. Hopefully you're a little bit creative in coming up with these answers, and I hope you'll continue to be creative with your product descriptions at home. I've given you the exact assignment in the Facebook group, so I will be reading through those at the end of the semester, and there will be a new assignment coming your way in the coming week, but I'll be putting out the video, or the material rather, on Tuesday this week because of the Easter holiday, which make Sunday and Monday a national holiday. So take Monday off, take Sunday off, enjoy. Happy Easter if you're celebrating it, and good luck with your product descriptions, making sure that they fit the assignment. 4 paragraphs, background, benefits, features and benefits, that's likely the longest paragraph, and finally an invitation of some sorts to interact with your product. So good luck, stay safe, and goodbye.